What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back. I'm back with another banger, and today I'm gonna be reacting to a compilation of the scariest, creepiest TikToks on TikTok. But if y'all do enjoy, leave a like. I appreciate it. It helps, and let's get right into it.
Massive search is underway for a father of four accused of killing his wife. On Sunday morning around 9 a.m., Breezy and Aaron Pennington's four kids showed up at their neighbor's house in Gardner, Massachusetts. At ages 2, 5, 7, and 9, they were reportedly scared because they couldn't find their father and their mother was crying in her bedroom. As we know, police were at the scene in 5 minutes, but tragically it was too late. They went upstairs and found that Breezy wasn't crying anymore. The 30-year-old was pronounced deceased from a gunshot wound to the face at 9:30 a.m. Now, as confirmed by surveillance footage, Aaron had actually left the house that morning at 8:50. And then on Monday night, his unoccupied BMW was found in the woods of a Boy Scout camp 4 miles away. In what is now a manhunt, police say they are searching all of 400 acres to find Aaron. That he has a military background, spent the past 7 years in active service, and knows how to survive in these woods. Aside from that, court documents have revealed that Breezy had been saving up money to leave Aaron and move to Texas with their kids. Her sister says that on the outside he's a very nice person, but has been struggling with mental health issues that just kept getting worse. He also didn't have a license to carry a gun in Massachusetts, but Breezy reportedly kept one for her own safety. Today, the Penningtons' kids remain under custody of the state, with police asking anyone who sees Aaron to not approach him, but immediately call 911. Breezy was, quote, the funniest person. She had the best/worst dark humor. She loved true crime and, most importantly, her babies. She brought light to everyone that knew her, cheered for everyone, and made motherhood seem effortless.
This is by far one of the worst murders in American history. This is the Watts family, and in the early hours of August 13th, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shannon by strangulation, and right after this, he murdered his two young daughters who are 4 and 3 by smothering.
I know y'all probably have too. I've already heard of this and seen this before. That's crazy, bro. It looks just like my gym teacher, man. That's crazy. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, that's my gym teacher. Bro out here doing crazy shit. Nah, but it's sad, man. Why the kids? I mean, why the wife too? But come on, innocent children, bro. Like that's crazy.
them with a pillow, all while they begged their dad not to kill them. He then buried Shannon in a shallow grave near an oil storage facility, and he then dumped his two children's dead bodies into an oil tank. Christopher Watts initially maintained his innocence in his family's disappearance, but was arrested on August 15th after confessing in an interview with detectives to murdering Shannon, and he then later admitted to murdering his children.
My bad. I don't mean to keep interrupting, but come on, bro. Beautiful wife, beautiful kids, beautiful house. Like what makes people do this type of shit? Like what is wrong with people, man?
He did this because he wanted to run away and start a new life with the girl he was cheating on his wife with. And he thought the solution to this was to kill his entire family. There's also this clip of him being interviewed by some news outlet, and in the video he's begging for his wife and children to come back. Now at this point, nobody has any clue that he killed them, but he does. He remembers exactly what happened, he knows that they're dead, he knows how he killed them, and he's still on live TV begging them to come home, saying he can't live without them. Just watch this clip, it's absolutely sickening.
My last question, if you have any of them, feel free to step in. My last question, if your wife can see this, if she can watch this, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring her back.
That's it. I can take that mic off.
The 3 most dangerous islands in the world. Number 3, Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima, while no longer a battleground, remains a place of hidden dangers. The island, a site of intense World War II conflict, is riddled with unexploded ordnance and buried hazards. Decades after the battle, explosives continue to pose risks to anyone who treads on its black volcanic sands. Moreover, its unforgiving terrain and isolation make it challenging for visitors. Number 2, Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll, an idyllic Pacific paradise turned into a symbol of nuclear devastation. Located in the Marshall Islands, it was transformed into a nuclear testing ground by the United States in the mid-20th century. The tests released radioactive fallout, contaminating the atoll's ecosystem and forcing the inhabitants into exile. Today, Bikini Atoll remains uninhabited. Could you survive on this island with the second person who appears when you click share and then messenger? Before revealing the number 1, remember to subscribe and like the video. Number 1, North Sentinel Island. Nestled in the Bay of Bengal, North Sentinel Island stands as a testament to the resilience and isolationist nature of its indigenous inhabitants, the Sentinelese. Living in voluntary seclusion for thousands of years, they aggressively defend their land from intruders with arrows and violence.
But are they really living that bad though? They make it seem like it's so bad to be secluded. Like, shit. Sometimes I want to go and live with them. You know, go live in the middle of nowhere. No phones, no job, no police pulling you over, giving you $700 ticket for going 10 over. None of that crazy shit, man. Just hunt for food, eat your food, reproduce, whatever they got to do. You know, just they're the ones who are really living good.
Attempts at contact have ended tragically. The island remains a forbidden zone, a place where curiosity can cost lives.
This is everything you should know about the mass shooting that just happened. Last night at 7 p.m. in the city of Lewiston, Maine, a man walked into a bowling alley called Just in Time and began shooting. The suspect, who we now know is 40-year-old Robert Card, drove from the bowling alley to the bar, which was 4 miles away, and began shooting again. At this point, there's 18 people deceased and 13 others were injured. Robert is still on the run, and police have advised everyone in the city to be careful and stay home. Now, what do we know about Robert Card? Robert's enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserve and has an active military ID. He's also been recognized a number of times with awards and medals while serving. But something that I should know is that back in July, the commanders in the Army Reserve were extremely concerned with Robert because he was just behaving erratic. They called police and he was evaluated and then put into a mental health facility for 2 weeks because he said that he was hearing voices in his head.
So y'all know he had mental health problems, and you put him into a mental health facility for 2 weeks, bruh. When he literally said he was hearing voices, nah, bruh. Can't tell me this wasn't planned attack type shit. Come on, bruh. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Nah. Yeah. Nah. Yes.
That was telling him to shoot up the military base. Which, I'm no specialist or anything, but 2 weeks in a mental health facility to help someone who's having these kind of thoughts, I don't think that's enough time. What's absolutely devastating is that one of the victims last night who worked at the bar was fatally shot when he tried to attack the shooter with a knife. Robert's family has been working with police and investigators to find Robert, and they've asked him to surrender.
Scary facts you'll wish you never knew. Part 2. Being buried alive used to happen so often that people invented safety coffins, with a rope you could pull to ring a bell and let people know you're still alive. If you get a blood transfusion and get the wrong type of blood, one of the symptoms is a sense of impending doom. In 1975, the CIA had a heart attack gun. It would give someone a heart attack, then the dart would melt after entering the body, leaving no trace behind. One reason that crows and ravens are so associated with death is because they would often follow armies as they marched to battle. Being extremely intelligent, they realized that a large group of armed men marching in one direction meant that there would be a tasty meal to eat soon afterwards. Polar bears are one of the only animals that are thought to actively hunt humans. Around 30% of people reported missing have actually been killed by the person who reported them missing. Throughout your lifetime, you walk past around 36 murderers. 30 people die every year, getting crushed from shaking a vending machine. Finally, the astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger most likely didn't die until they hit the water miles below the initial explosion.
Boy teased by girl he liked for being fat. 6 years later, he went on a revenge spree. When Anthony was a senior in high school, he weighed nearly 300 pounds.
Damn, that's crazy. I don't know why I was thinking it was gonna be like some happy story, like he lost weight and now she wants him. Like, nah, bro, it's just about to go crazy. Want to see this?
He was constantly teased by everyone at school. One day, they were having a high school dance, and to his surprise, Molly, the prettiest girl in school, asked him to the prom. Anthony happily said yes. He rented an expensive suit to impress Molly. He rented an expensive suit. He even rented a limo to pick up Molly. To Anthony's shock, Molly and her friends laughed at him like crazy and rejected Anthony to his face. They called him a fat, ugly man. It had a big impact on Anthony. When he got home, he cried out loud, decided to clean out the fridge of unhealthy food. He was determined to change himself one day, 6 years later. Anthony suddenly received a message from Molly. Something unexpected happened. Follow me. Find out what happened next.
So these two guys were walking down the street where a guy on a dirt bike and another guy behind him tried to rob the two men. But one of the men they were trying to rob ended up pulling out what looks to be a machete. And he basically pulled a Uno reverse card on the robbers and ended up stealing their dirt bike. Karma is a beautiful thing.
Yep, that's right.
Realistic reasons roommates slept through the Idaho murders. This was a multi-level home, and the bedroom of the two victims that survived seemed to be tucked away in the basement. Outside mud or dirt surrounding the basement area of the home may have also partially insulated what they would have or would have not heard. Wound pathology plays a big role in understanding if the surviving roommates heard what was going on at the time of the crime. We don't know if those victims were wounded in areas where you're likely not able to scream. The surviving roommates may not have heard the crime is based on a general public misconception that when you're attacked, you're going to naturally scream. If you just came out of a sleep, you don't know what's going on. Is this a dream? Is somebody in the room? Is somebody hitting me? You don't necessarily scream. I think that's more related to the movies, and so it's possible some of these victims partially woke up, but the other thing is they are dying. They are in the process of dying. Their ability to yell out for help is diminished by every infliction of another stabbing injury.
Breaking news, Robert Card has been found deceased. As of 9:12 p.m., authorities have confirmed that he was found deceased. He was found deceased in the woods near Lisbon. At this time, authorities have not provided any further details, but I'll keep you guys updated. What do you guys think? Drop in the comments.
Oh no. No.
Thanks for telling us what we already know, but
No, 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 silly, to dry it. But it exploded, and they were both found dead.
The two teens that crashed into the 68-year-old retired policeman that was cycling, ending his life, were laughing and giggling at court. While looking at the victim's wife and daughter, they were also seen flipping them off and showed no remorse whatsoever for what they've done.
They did not respect the court whatsoever.
The teens appear to communicate with each other, at times covering their faces and also laughing.
I'll never get to have my dad there, have that, daddy-daughter dance, have him give me away or anything like that. And the laughing, them saying get his ass, all of that has haunted me.
The teens were bragging to the policeman that they will be out in 30 days.
You think this juvenile gonna do something? I'll be out in like 30 days.
In one video, you can hear the teens both plotting.
Bum 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 bum.
And then laughing after hitting a 72-year-old cyclist. Police say 18-year-old Jesus Ayala and 16-year-old Jameer Keys intentionally targeted hit-and-run crimes.
it's one thing to accidentally hit somebody, because I know it's annoying when there's people riding a bicycle in the middle of the street and there's a sidewalk right next to them. You're in a car and you're trying to go somewhere, but you don't intentionally hit people off of a bike, bro. That makes it 100 times worse, bro.
Against two cyclists and a car driver. During their nearly hour-long rampage involving 3 different stolen cars, the video appears to show the teens targeting and then running over retired police chief.
His wife was wearing his Apple Watch during court, which alerted authorities. The victim's family now faces a future without a husband or a father. What do you think is a fair punishment for these criminals?
These are people who have gone missing in 2023. This is Joshua Amos, who is 32 years old. He has been missing since March 19th, 2023 after leaving a strip club in Washington Park, Illinois. His mother, Christine Simpson, said his disappearance is something that Joshua just wouldn't do. He was seen on video leaving Scarlet Strip Club on Berkman Road in Washington Park at 5 a.m. on March 19th. Surveillance cameras from a trucking company on Lincoln Avenue captured Joshua's image at 7:28 a.m. that day. The trucking company and the strip club are about 4 miles apart. Illinois State Police and a search dog looked for Joshua on March 24th, but nothing was ever found. His family and friends continue the search to this day, hoping they will find him ever since his disappearance. Up next is Jordan Taylor, and at 4:18 p.m. on January 6, 2023, Jordan Taylor, who is 29, changed his Facebook profile picture to a selfie of him wearing a white mask. Later that day, Jordan went to a barber shop located on Hillside Avenue in Queens, New York, and at 6:48 p.m. he abruptly left in the middle of his haircut, telling his barber that he had to go after receiving a phone call. Jordan was later seen standing outside of the barber shop for 5 to 10 minutes. Around 9 p.m. that same day, phone records show that Jordan went to the Port Authority bus terminal, where he seemingly spent some time up until midnight. On January 7, 2023, phone records tracked Jordan to a location near a club. Between 12:11 a.m. and 1:04 a.m., and around 2:30 a.m., Jordan was last seen on security footage walking by himself near Lower Manhattan. Jordan never returned home and hasn't been found or heard from since. On January 7th, his phone was found near that same club he was at 1:30 a.m. The authorities reviewed the video footage from outside the club he was at, but didn't see Jordan enter or exit the club at any point. And around 9 a.m., his wallet was found, which contained some cash and all of his credit cards. The police also found no evidence of foul play in Jordan's disappearance. His case is currently active and is still ongoing to this day. This might be one of the scariest things that can ever happen to a human, mainly because can you just imagine going missing and nobody ever finding you or talking to you again? I don't know, the thought about that is just terrifying, and hopefully they are found soon.
I mean, duh. Isn't anybody scared of disappearing? Usually means you either got killed and they did a good job, so they got away with it, or human trafficking. That's crazy. Y'all gotta be safe out here.
A teacher has been killed and 2 others have been seriously injured in a knife attack at a school in France, officials say. The attack happened at the Gambetta High School in the northern city of Arras. Local officials say the attacker has been arrested. He shouted Allahu Akbar, or God is the greatest, during the attack. The attacker is believed to be in his 20s, and his brother has also been apprehended by police. Reports say that the fatality was a French language teacher who lost his life in the stabbing incident. Also, a sports teacher was stabbed and also injured. Local media have reported that the attacker used to go to the school, and that is why he chose to carry out his attack there. French President Emmanuel Macron will visit the school later on Friday. The school attacker was of Chechen origin, and the National Security Register knew of him, which is so worrying. The National Assembly in Paris have suspended its session in solidarity with the victims today. Now, this is an ongoing case. News is coming in all the time. I will keep you updated, but that's what we know so far.
Alexei Treviso, the 19-year-old at the center of controversy after throwing her baby in a hospital trash can, is claiming she didn't know she was pregnant. Her family and her boyfriend also claim they were unaware of her pregnancy. However, recently surfaced photos and videos provide evidence of Treviso sporting a noticeable baby bump.
You didn't know you were pregnant, but you grabbed the baby and threw it in the trash can. So how does that work? Does it, like, what matter if you knew or if you didn't know? Killed the baby. That's all that matters, bro.
One photo captures her during cheer practice, clearly displaying the prominent bump. In another video, she can be seen cheerleading at a high school sports game, lifting another performer while showcasing her baby bump. Furthermore, surveillance footage.
I'm so confused. So nobody, like the teachers, the gym teachers, they they just thought she was fat, like has a beer belly. Come on, bro. You're letting a pregnant girl pick up another. Like, come on, bro. This is gotta be dumbest shit I ever seen.
Footage has been released, showing Treviso entering the restroom where she later gave birth.
I really hope they give her life, bro. I swear to God. She needs life in prison. That's what she needs. Shit is sick. Sick. I feel bad for the janitors too, man. They had to see that. That's wicked. That is wicked, bro. That is some wicked shit.
Disturbing updates coming out about what David Eason did to Jace. This is information that led to the charge that David now has against him. See my previous videos. Marks were left on Jace's right arm and the left and right side of his neck from non-accidental injuries. So that would mean they were intentional, just to clear that up. It is marked in the documents that this happened on September 28th. If you will remember, September 28th marked the date that Jace ran away for the third time in 1 month. That night, he went out of his window and into the woods. Then he wound up in the hospital, and now he's back with Barb. Speaking of Barb, she and Janelle were back in court yesterday. David was not allowed to be there, as he is not allowed any contact or communication with Jace whatsoever. Janelle is only allowed it reportedly if Jace initiates it. But Barb and Janelle were in court yesterday. They are allowing Jace to continue.
Why is she so monotone and boring? And also, what is this even about? Like, let me know.
Continue staying with Barb. As far as I understand, reportedly, allegedly, Jace is still under CPS custody, but Barb is his caretaker and will be, that will continue as of court yesterday. I'll keep you posted. David has not been arrested. And just so y'all know, some people are miswording it. Some people are saying there's a warrant out for his arrest. I have not reported that because I don't feel that the reports that have said that are that accurate. So all I have said and will continue to say is that there is a charge, and I'll keep you updated.
Please be warned that this true crime case is incredibly disturbing. This man killed his son after his son found his horrifying selfies. You'll feel physically sick by what this man photographed. It was 2012 and Mark Redwine was living in picturesque Colorado. Mark had been divorced twice and had 2 kids with his ex-wife Elaine. The pair were in a custody battle over 13-year-old Dylan Redwine. Dylan had actually expressed to his brother Corey that he felt uncomfortable visiting his dad. It would later be revealed the likely reason for this. Some horrifying images that the brothers found in 2011. On the 18th of November, Mark picked Dylan up from the airport. Dylan had finally agreed to go on a trip to visit his dad. CCTV from the airport showed that the pair were barely interacting. Via text, Dylan agreed that the next day he would go to his friend's house. He was due to arrive there about 6:30 a.m. the next day. His last text was that night at 9:37 p.m. However, Dylan never showed up at his friend's house. His friend sent Dylan a text message at 6:46 a.m. seeing where he was. Unfortunately, he would never get a reply. Mark would later claim that Dylan had left the house and never returned. A huge search of the local area began. Now, within days of the disappearance, one of Mark's ex-wives told police something interesting. Disturbingly, he told her that if he ever had to get rid of a body, he would dispose of it in the mountains. He also apparently said to her that he would kill the kids before he let her have them. Mark was actually interviewed on TV and asked about his ex-wife's allegations against him. He appeared very suspicious to viewers and was talking about Dylan in the past tense. A whole 7 months passed until Dylan's body was tragically found. He was found only around 8 miles from Mark's house, just off an ATV trail. A witness actually came forward and said that they had seen Mark driving alone in the area in April.
Bro looks like a bug. Y'all seen a Bug's Life? Bro looks like an ant or something. Bro looks crazy.
2013. Mark was very familiar with that area and actually owned an ATV himself. Mark and Dylan's mum also appeared on the Dr. Phil show. Basically, the episode was just them throwing allegations at each other. Interestingly, Mark failed to do a lie detector test. Then a telling discovery was made. In August 2013, police found Dylan's blood and human cadaver smell in Mark's lounge. A cadaver dog also indicated that human remains were present in the washing machine.
Hold up. Y'all, what is a cadaver? What's a cadaver? Please let me know in the comment. I have no idea.
On Mark's clothes and in Mark's vehicle. Mark was arrested for second-degree murder and child abuse. So what were these disgusting photographs that the boys had found? The pair had discovered photos of Mark dressed in women's underwear consuming feces out of a nappy. I obviously cannot show these images on TikTok for obvious reasons, but you can.
All right. Once again, y'all, somebody let me know, what is a nappy? What is a nappy? Let me know. But wow. Wow. That's wild.
And find them on Google, but just be very prepared for disgusting images. Dylan and his dad's relationship had been gradually declining, and Dylan had actually asked his brother to send him the images so that Dylan could confront his dad. He had no idea that doing so would be fatal. The prosecution stated that this had triggered rage in Mark. He then killed his own son in the lounge of his house. He was eventually sentenced to 48 years in prison.
Here is part 2 to the story of Annalise Michel. The of Emily Rose, the movie that is right behind me, was actually based on her story. I forgot to mention that in part 1. After pushing for a while, Annalise's family found a priest who believed that she was possessed, and his name was Ernest Alt. At this point, Annalise had dropped out of college and she was staying at home with her parents, and things had gotten considerably worse. She had dropped weight. She was severely underweight. She would often crawl under tables and bark like a dog. She would urinate on herself. She would eat spiders and coal. She would rip the clothes off of her body, and there was even a time that she bit off the head of a dead bird. But it wasn't just this. She also would exhibit inhuman strength at times. Her family said that they had once watched her crush an apple with her bare hands, and you have to remember she was severely underweight at this point. It seemed almost impossible that she could do this. But this priest reached out to the local bishop. His name was Joseph Stangl, and they finally approved the rites of exorcism to be performed on Annalise. Arnold Renz would be the priest who would carry out the exorcism, but they were told to keep this completely secret. The Catholic Church did not want this coming out that they were performing an exorcism on Annalise. Over the next 10 months, Annalise would go through 67 exorcisms, and each exorcism would last for hours on end. And during this time, they were able to find, or at least they claimed, that Annalise was possessed by 6 demons. It included the demon that was in Hitler, in Judas Iscariot, the disciple who betrayed Jesus, and Nero. And during these exorcisms, Annalise would talk in languages that she couldn't or didn't know, like Latin.
and they would often hear a deep and demonic voice coming from her. It wasn't Annalise's voice. Annalise would not survive these exorcisms. Unfortunately, she would pass. On July 1st of 1976, she passed away due to dehydration and malnutrition. Both of the priests involved and Annalise's parents were charged with her death after this. The two priests were given 6 months for manslaughter due to lack of care, and the German courts decided that Annalise's parents had suffered enough and they were not given anything. The two priests were given 6 months of prison time, but this was later suspended and then 3 years of probation. But since then, the story of Annalise has been heavily debated. Was she really possessed, or was she just severely ill and nobody actually took care of her? I really do kind of lean towards she was ill and was not given the proper care. But what are your thoughts on this? Let me.
She had demonic voices. How, bro, how do you explain that? I always wondered. There's videos of exorcisms out there. Like, if these exorcisms are real and people are actually like floating around shit and got demonic voices and stuff, how does a like an atheist? What would an atheist think of that? Like, how do you actually explain that though? In like languages you don't even know. Like, how do you explain this? You don't believe. You don't believe. Y'all let me know. That's it for today. I'm glad y'all tuned in. And leave a comment, sub, share, all that stuff so we can get the algorithm going, show more people this. But